What we're going to do today is have a fairly quick overview to some of the features of Échos Pro, which is our Pearson's grade 4, 5, and 6 FSL program. And then we'll spend a bit more time looking at the online component, and I'll give you a demonstration of how everything works online. At this point, everybody's microphone is on mute. There's quite a few of us on the call, so there'd be a fair bit of background noise if we left everyone's microphones on. So if you'd like, you can use the chat feature if you have any questions or comments that you'd like to make along the way. I won't be reading the chat as we go. I'll check in once in a while to see if there's any questions that need answering. Or alternatively, feel free to unmute your own microphone if you want to speak. By all means, you have that ability by using the toolbar down at the bottom. Okay, so let's get started. So Échos Pro is certainly all these things that you see here. These are the guiding principles upon which the program was developed. And, you know, as it turns out, not a coincidence, but on purpose, these are the very same guiding principles that are used in the CEFR. So, you know, action-oriented, literacy-based, certainly different differentiation and cultural awareness. So these are the pillars upon which this program was built. So so there are 3 levels of Échos Pro. Level 1, we call them level 1, 2, and 3, which are grades 4, 5, and 6. So the Échos Pro program in total consists of student modules, which you see here some examples across the top, which are available in print and digital. And as well, we offer the printed professional bundle, which you can see down at the bottom on the left. There's a box. And this is a box that contains the teacher guides for each of the modules. It contains a DVD and a CD, 5 CDs actually, 1 audio CD for each of the modules. And as well, most importantly, it contains information about how to access the online component. All of that is included when you purchase the professional bundle. So this is a chart that's taken from the revised FSL Ontario curriculum document. This shows evidence of all the things that can be found clearly, evidence of all these things can be found clearly embedded within the teaching notes. So we've embedded certainly authentic oral communication, lessons and activities from all the strands: listening, speaking, reading, and writing, development of language learning, goal setting and reflection. Metacognition is actually a very big part of this program. So these are in the curriculum and they're in our program. Here in blue, up at the top of the slide, is a quote from the Ontario curriculum document, and it stresses the importance of teaching strategies in FSL. And what we've done here on this slide is shown you evidence of strong strategy focus within Échos Pro. So these are some of the what we call the strategy pages that are taken directly from the student material. We certainly use production strategies, comprehension strategies, metacognitive strategies, and cooperative strategies. So this is important to the program. This chart shows how clearly embedded the CEFR framework is integrated into Échos Pro. So on the left, you have the guiding principles and the foundation of the CEFR, and on the right, you have our interpretation of it and our approach to it within our program. In the revised curriculum as well, there is a metacognition expectation for each of the 4 language strands. Students are expected to identify strategies that they used or found helpful and to set goals for future learning. So here are some examples of how this is addressed within Échos Pro. I've taken just a few snippets from the teacher guide to show, for example, assessment as learning. Here's a little tip that's taken from the teacher guide. Provide self-assessment opportunities that allow students to reflect on listening skills and other skills and strategies using fiche d'évaluation de Je réfléchis sur le module. So we always provide line masters and les fiches when it comes to assessment, as well as metacognition. These are samples of the types of reminders and tips that are in the teaching notes of opportunities to do assessment for learning. Learning checks are reminders to circulate and monitor how well the students are performing, with suggestions on how to adjust the lesson to provide additional support. Assessment for learning reminders remind teachers to use the fiche d'évaluation to track the student progress. And there's always suggestions on how to both support students and challenge students, as you can see here on the slide. This here is an example of some of the reminders in the teaching notes as well for how to do assessment of learning. So the highlight here is that we provide information on all three types of assessment as, for, and of learning. And as well, we always specify what tools to use. So you can see here on the slide that we're recommending the use of fiche d'évaluation 5 or 6, depending on what's in the program. Okay, so what we're going to do at this point, I'll check in and see if there's any questions so far. I mean, we haven't covered much, but I did at least want to give you the basics for what's included in the program, what are the foundations and guiding principles of the program, and how is assessment dealt with. But really, the gist of what we're going to do today is have a look at the resource itself online. So let me get out of our slides and switch over to our dashboard here, our online website. And I'm just going to have a quick look at the chat to see if there's any questions coming through.
Hi, Kelly, it's Barbara Melodic, and so far there are no questions on the chat, so you can continue.
Hi, Barbara. I didn't realize you were with us. Thanks for joining.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll keep going here. So this is our online platform. It's called CLE, which C-L-E, it stands for the Canadian Learning Exchange. This is the platform where we've put Échos Pro for all 3 levels, grades 4, 5, and 6. And I'm just going to quickly scroll down and explain how the dashboard is laid out. So as I'm scrolling here, you can see we have different boxes. We call them portlets. And within each of the boxes is different types of material. So at the top here, we have My Books, My Text. We have Culture Links. I'm just going to keep scrolling. We have Songs, Audio, and Video in the next box here. We have a box with the teacher guides. We'll have a look at all of this material. I'm just giving you a quick overview now. I'll just open up here. We have a box with image banks, some professional learning content for teachers here, PD content, links to the curricula for Manitoba and Ontario. And we have, finally, My Toolbox, which is some interactive activities. So let's go, and that's the end, that's the bottom. Let's go back up to the top and we'll have a look at the content itself. So the first box that I wanted to talk about is the My Text, My Books. This is where you'll find digital versions of the student content. So you can see here in my box, I've got access to Échos Pro 1, 2, and 3. So whatever you purchase, and we will create an account that gives you access to whichever levels you've purchased. So let me just open up the first one. We'll just look at Échos Pro 1 for today. Ma classe et moi is the first module in Échos Pro 1. When I click it, I'm taken to a bit of an info page, and I can click here to launch the e-text. We call it e-text, which is just a digital version of the printed student module. So presumably in class, teachers might choose to project this up at the front of class because you do have access to this. And if you have print books in your classroom at the students' desks, you might be happy to know that the digital book, as I'm scrolling around the pages here, you can have a look. The digital book is the exact same as the print book. So the information and the content on the pages doesn't reflow in any way or move around. So if you're projecting at the front and you say, turn to page 4, students' print books for page 4 will look the exact same as the digital book. So as you can see, I've flipped it over into a 2-page view so that you're looking at the left and the right side of the spread, which is how you would naturally look at a print book. And you can use the arrow keys to turn through the pages to get through the book. As I turn this page here, you can see in the digital world, we made a little adjustment. We took the previous spread, which is a graphic text, a short graphic text, and we've provided it on the next page in a wordless layout. So we've taken out the words. So teachers can use this or not use it in any way they see fit. You could have a literacy lesson here and you could do some predicting about what these students, what the characters are saying to each other. You could have a story writing activity where the students could write their own speech bubbles. They can't write directly in this e-text, but you can have a whole class activity, by projecting this. So every now and again, you'll see as I'm scrolling through these pages, you'll see some wordless pages, and we've added that to the digital textbook on purpose for teachers' use. So here's some strategy pages that I was talking about earlier. Je regarde bien, j'utilise des gestes. And so here's another graphic text, and I can assume that the next spread, yes, will be the same text without wordless. So it's quite easy to navigate. You can switch it back and forth between single page and double page view. You can use the zoom buttons to zoom in. Say you want to enlarge it so that you can read, and you can zoom back out again. One of the other features that's really fantastic when it comes to digital student material is that we can embed audio. So you can see here, this is a reading spread, a text, and if you turn on the hippo icon, when you click it, you are in fact turning on audio mode, and you'll see a play button right here up at the top at the start of the text. And if you play it, if you click play, the text is read aloud. We went to the studio and recorded all this text. So we'll just give it a minute to load here. Oh, I'm not sure about my volume.
Zut, où est mon sac à dos? Hey, Patrick. Non, ce sac est vert.
So as you scroll through the pages, when you have the audio mode turned on, whenever you see a play button, that means we recorded and provide the audio, so there's some listening support there for students. So one of the other features of the text, because we know teachers, well, we assume teachers would be projecting this at the front of class, is that we offer you kind of a projector mode. So if you click the projector icon that's up on the top toolbar, you'll notice a bit of a change. Let me just click it. So the pages are bigger. You've got more screen real estate for the pages themselves. And the menu has moved off to the left and is not taking up so much space. You've also gained a pen tool in your toolbar. So here on the left, I can click the pen and I'll just choose the color red. And now my mouse can act like a pen. So if you don't have an interactive whiteboard in your class, with pens, we've provided you with a pen. So you can use this in any way, you see fit. If you have an interactive whiteboard with lots of tools and features, by all means, use that. This is more meant for teachers who are just projecting onto a regular screen, but they have their computer mouse, of course. So to go back to regular view, I'm just going to click the monitor icon. And I'm just going to close the audio mode. And I'm going to go back to single page view because I do want to show you that we've embedded a bit of content here on the left-hand side in folders. So the first folder is the table of contents. So this is just, instead of turning the pages one at a time, using the arrow, you can click around and jump to pages by scrolling through the table of contents and clicking on any one of the pages. We've also embedded a little bit of multimedia within these pages. If you open the multimedia folder, you can see we have a video, we have a song, and we have some interactive whiteboard activities, 1, 2, and 3 here. So I'll just quickly play the video for you. It opens in its own window. And this is directly related to content that's on one of the pages in the student book. Je me présente. So this is about students presenting themselves. There's a long intro.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Stéphanie, j'ai 10 ans.
So this goes directly with a lesson that is described in the teacher guide, and it goes with the student book, one of the student book pages. And the same thing with the song. We do have a song. Let me just play that. You'll recognize the intro. And this also goes with one of the pages. Actually, no.
Voici la messe, c'est mon ami. Il aime le rouge et moi aussi.
Okay, so I did happen to be right on the song page itself. So you can see here pages 20 and 21 in this module actually have the lyrics to the song. So obviously students can read along to the lyrics as it's being sung. So for now, I'm going to leave these interactive activities just for a moment because I'm going to show those in a moment when I get back to the online platform. So before I leave the e-text, which is the digital student book, are there any questions about presenting this or interacting or navigating or any of the content that we've embedded? Oh, I see a question here. I have trouble playing the audio on the second page. Seems like this is a glitch. Oh, thanks, Mary Lee. I'll have a look on the second page of this module. Okay, so you turned on the audio mode and you click the play button. It's just loading. There we are.
Explorons. Bonjour.
Okay, so it is working. At least I can say it's working. It's working for me. Marilee, if you want to email me, if it's not working for you, we'll figure that out offline instead of with the whole group. Is it expected that students will sing along? That's a great question, Rob. So the expectations for these lessons and all the activities are in the teacher guide. The teacher guide will take you step by step through the lessons and what is the expectation of the students. So let's have a look at that now and see where we go with that. So I'll leave the e-text, I'll leave it open. I'll just go back to the dashboard where we were. I'll click on the dashboard. And it'll take us back, just takes a minute. So that was an example of the digital student book. That was in my books, Maytext. So let me scroll down to the teacher guide box here, and we'll open up. You can see here we have links to the strategy masters, the program overview, and then of course the 5 modules, the teaching notes for the 5 modules. So let's open Ma Classe et Moi, and we'll have a look at the actual teacher guide, at the lesson plans and the document. So it's a PDF document. It is exactly the same as the printed teacher guide that comes in the professional bundle box. And we've just provided the PDF of it right here. So actually, Rob, let's see if we can answer your question by looking at the teaching, at the lesson plans. I'm just going to find the teaching notes here. And what was the name of the song? It was on page 20. It's called Bonjour Salut. So there it is. I'm going to scroll down to page 64 and we'll have a look at that lesson. Let me do this. Sorry, I hope it's not making you too dizzy. It's going fast. Where are we? 52? Getting there. Je me présente. Still, there's a lot. Oh, here we are. Bonjour, salut. So lessons 15 and 16, Bonjour, salut, they go with student resource module, page 2021. So the learning goal for this lesson is students will listen to and sing a song. So it sounds like they're going to be singing it. We have here a quick synopsis of the two lessons, lesson 15 and lesson 16, before, during, and after listening. Of course, we provide the success criteria, the I can statements, je peux, j'écoute un texte, je pose des questions. These are expected that you would share this with students. And then the lesson itself, lesson 15. I do want to quickly point out these sort of symbols here, M, SP, and GP, and SP. So these represent what's called the gradual release of responsibility. So this is a 4-part lesson style. So M represents modeling, where the teacher is, all the responsibility is with the teacher, and the teacher is modeling the language. And then we move to shared practice, where the teacher and students are sharing the practice together. They're sharing the responsibility. We move towards guided practice, represented by a GP, and that's where the students are actually practicing the language, and teachers are just sort of on the side supporting and guiding. And then the next step is typically IP. I can see it here. Independent practice, where all the responsibilities with the students and they are doing the work on their own, the language. So let's have a quick look here. So warm up, introduce classmates before listening. So we're sharing personal information. We're giving some context. We are making predictions, anticipating during listening. So play the song for the gist and enjoyment and to confirm their predictions. Students may need to hear the song more than once. Shared listening. So, it says here, use fiche d'activité neuf. So you're handing out one of the line masters to prepare word or sentence cards using the language from the song. And so that's the activity that goes with the song. And then the wrap up here is sing the song. So refer students to the student book pages 20 and 21 and invite them to sing along. So we do, and then the next lesson as well is continuing using the same pages and the same song. So there's even more activity and more lessons on the song. So that's kind of a brief walkthrough of a typical lesson. And all of the lesson plans for this module are together in this one PDF document, or of course, they're in print as well. So I'm just going to go back to our dashboard. And before I do, so your teacher guide link, your teacher guide PDF was found here on this page, but you can see here we also provide links to the line masters, les fiches d'activité, the activity line masters, the strategy line masters, and the assessment line masters. And you see that we provide them in PDF and Word, depending on if you want to make adjustments to the content. So if you do, you would use the Word version. If you don't plan to modify it, then of course use the PDF. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard. So we looked at the digital student book. We looked at the teacher guide PDFs, and I'm going to have a quick show here of this box on the right-hand side, songs, audio, and video. So in addition to us embedding the songs and the video and the audio files, the listen read-alongs, We've embedded them within the digital student book, but we've also provided them here as standalone files within this box in case you just want to get directly to it and project it directly from here instead of opening the student text and finding it within there. And then lastly, I do want to scroll down here and show you the interactive activities. So let's open up. So you can see here for Ma Classe et Moi, there are 3 interactive activities. These are also embedded directly within the student e-text. So when you click it, what you end up doing is downloading. I don't know if you can see that happening on my computer, but I've downloaded a smart notebook file. So when I open it, you do need to have smart notebook embedded software embedded in your computer. And if you have a very recent version of smart notebook, it actually won't work. You do need to have Smart Notebook version 16 or less. So that's important. If you've updated your software to anything beyond version 16, then our files won't work. So we basically have a series of different activities. So there's always a little pull tab here on the right that you can pull out and have a read of what this activity does, what's the goal, and how to operate it. So I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to, I'm just going to hope that I know what to do here. So this is à l'école ou après l'école. So I'm pretty sure what students are asked to do is come up and grab one of the activities. So this looks like karate. So is it at school or after school? So I'm going to say it's at school, and it's not. It got ejected back. So I'm going to click it, drag it to après l'école, and yes, it is. It's absorbed into the spiral. So this is a type of activity where you invite students. You might be doing it whole class, or maybe you're doing it in centers. However you see fit to use these activities. We provide 2 or 3 or 4 activities with each module. So I'm just going to close that and go back to our dashboard. Okay, and then there's other boxes here. We've got like websites here that represent culture. The editors have done some research and included some websites and web links for the different modules with Suivez-moi, Ça c'est ma journée. So, we're just helping cut down on the amount of research that you might have to do. I'll scroll down and quickly mention we do provide image banks. So we've taken all the images that are in the student books and we've cut them up and pasted them here and provided them as downloadable files. So you can use the images and students can use the images. And we have a few PD videos and PD documents for teachers as well, provided here on your teacher dashboard. So that's it. That's the overview to the program. We offer print student books, print teacher guides, and of course access to this online where you have digital student books and PDFs of your teacher guides. So does anyone have questions? Feel free to unmute your microphones or use the chat, whatever you're comfortable with. And let me know if there's anything I can help you with. Let me also project my email address here. I'm going to put it on my note so that you can email me, pearsoned.com. If you have any questions after today, if something occurs to you, if you want to have a revisit of anything, or if you have any questions at all, feel free to write down my email address and reach out at any time. And I'll just hang in here for another couple of minutes to see if anyone has anything to say.
Hi, Kelly. It's Rob.
Hi,
Rob. Just wondering if the digital version is a permanent license, and is it updated?
Okay, great question. Yep. So the license for teachers, the digital license is 7 years long. So when you say updated, do you mean like new content placed in there?
Yeah, if the websites don't work anymore after a year or so.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, so we would consider that maintenance. So if there's something that's not working anymore or is somehow outdated, like for example, actually, we are updating the student digital texts because up until now they have been Flash based. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but Flash is sort of going away. So we are updating that and taking away, moving away from Flash. And certainly if anything, links are broken or websites are not working, we would fix them. But we're not adding content year after year. The content is as you buy it.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Okay, I'm seeing a question here on the chat. So the digital copy you've shown us has the exact same resource as the hard copy kit. Yeah, well, except for the fact that obviously in the hard copy, you don't get the read aloud of the, oh, well, actually you do. I'm sorry, I just, sorry, didn't mean to fib. You do get the read aloud of the pages because we've provided you with audio CDs. So actually, in fact, yes, the digital copy is the same as the kit if you buy that bundle. So you're getting everything in print and digital in the same. Yes.
Can I, it's Barbara here. I just wanted to add one thing to that. If you have bought the ECHO literacy texts.
Oh, so yeah, I didn't mention those. Yep.
Oh, so if you have bought those would be in the digital version.
Yes. So yeah, thank you, Barbara. Okay. So let me just explain that really quickly. Let me go back to the dashboard here and show you when I was talking about the My Books, May Text, I mentioned the 5 modules. These are the 5 teaching modules for Échos Pro 1. Here they are. But if I scroll down, there are also literacy titles. There are 4 literacy titles that are literally read aloud books meant for either shared, well, not shared reading, but whole class reading. It's a book. Pauvre Michel, it's a story. Voici mon école, Les Super Bébites, and there's a magazine, Echo Mag. So these titles are included when you purchase the bundle, the box. You get your digital access, including digital versions of these titles. You have to buy the print separately. Okay. Can you click on one? Yes, I can, Serena. Sure, I'll show you. Can you show us again how to project 2 pages at a time? When I move to the second page of the student book text, the recording stops. Yes, Marilee, so you do need to have both pages projected at the same time in order to play the audio of both pages. So let me show you. So I'll open up one of the literacy titles. I'll open Pauvre Michel, and I'll launch it here. And you'll see it's the same eText platform that we use for the modules. It's the same platform, but here is Pauvre Michel. So let me go into 2-page view, and I'll just zoom out a little bit here so that you can see the whole page. And I'll turn the pages here. So here is, I'll just flip through the pages, and you can have a quick look at the story. So Michel overslept, and he's now scrambling to get to school on time and to get all his morning routine done. So this is just one example of, this is a grade 4. This is Échos Pro, Écho Literacy 1. And there's a repeating pattern. You'll see the "Ah non, c'est pas possible" phrase will come up multiple times. Lots of literacy is built into, here's the "Ah non, pas possible." So and the audio works here. Let me just turn on the audio. You can press play.
1h30. Bon, tout va bien. C'est la classe d'éducation physique.
So that's an example of the audio, the read aloud. I think I just saw a question come up on the chat. Let me have a quick look at it. Okay, so that solves it. Okay, oh, so Mary Lee, okay, so you didn't know how to get to the 2-page view. Yep, up on that top toolbar, it's a single page or a double page. You just toggle back and forth. So yeah, so this is one example of what we call literacy titles. These are not modules. This is not full lessons built around, you know, a language element. These are for reading and enjoyment, of course. Yeah, so there you go. I'm just gonna open up the chat again, see if there's any more questions. And of course, unmute your microphones if you want to speak. Okay, you're welcome, Serena. Yep. So let me put my email address up there again so you can see it in case anybody wants to write it down, in case anybody has any questions after today. And otherwise, okay, that's it. I will thank you all very much for attending today's webinar. Thanks for your interest in Échos Pro, and please do reach out if you have any questions at all. Have a good evening, everybody.